Okay, welcome back to Diceratops D&D Saga, Bed to the Bone, and this is part number 6, I think. Are we up to 6? 6 or 7? I think it's 6. I think we're up to 6. So we've had a few adventures so far, and we've been following Jackwick and Mascara through weird owl magic to a strange kind of neighborhood with a teddy bear store and a whole bunch of mushroom people, which is where we left you last time, in amongst the mushrooms as a gigantic insectoid beast, which Monster Manual fiends will recognize as an Ankeg out of the Monster Manual, has burst forth from the earth to cause some kind of trouble. So before we dive into the exact nature of that trouble, let's say hello to our adventurers. So we have playing Mascara Stormfire. It's Julz Burgisser. Hey, Julz.
Kia ora, how you doing?
Really well, really well. Good to be back into it. And as Jackwick Gambleson, it is Thom Adams. Hey, Thom.
Kia ora, how's it going?
Very well, very well. So can we just check in with the two of you and maybe what's your general mental state at this point in this unusual kind of adventure? I think you're currently standing in the dark being menaced by a giant insect, having seen teddy bears and owls and wolves and all sorts. So how's Jackwick feeling about everything right now?
I mean, for Jackwick, this is probably not that. This is probably a Sunday. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
You know, he's had weirder dreams and probably communes with weirder things. But you know, he still knows that he'll bleed like everyone else, and so you know, he's also worried about his friend Matilda. So I think for Jackwick, it's more just here we go again.
And Matilda, what's your kind of mood and situation right now?
I guess sort of like confusion, but doing it anyway. Because the other thing is we are here to rescue a person that we don't know much about in a way that we have no idea how we're going to either. So it does seem to be that this whole mission is just like one confusion into the next one. So just keep moving. Yep. It's kind of her mantra right now. Just keep going. I'm sure things will make sense eventually. Yeah.
For all we know, the Ankeg is who we're supposed to be saving.
Well,
Could be. It could be. Well, this gigantic insectoid beast that has loomed out of the earth, it's burrowed itself up. The two of you readied yourselves for trouble as the earth trembled, and then it kind of reared up. Now, it's got its beady eyes set on this wagon load of very soft fungal material that had been harvested by the mushroom community. And the two of you were just kind of hatching some kind of plan to use that wagon as a way of accessing the interior of Craddock House. But that plan is about to be interrupted by a giant insectoid beast that kind of hisses in your direction menacingly and then turns to focus on the wonderful treats inside this wagon. So I'm going to hand over to the two of you. How are you going to act at this thing, which is not directly attacking you now, but is very dangerous and very close to you? What do you choose to do?
I think Jackwick will. The first thing he'll do is he'll cast Hex on it. He'll hex it. It won't feel anything yet, but that's his little bonus action. So I think that would be the first thing he would do, opening up. And that would be, it will have it'll be worse on wisdom saving throws. So its wisdom is less because everyone's wisdom is slightly worse around Jackwick.
Nice.
And then he'll be like, "No, sir, that is mycelium." And then he'll fire. He'll step off to the side and fire an Eldritch Blast to kind of lure it away. A couple of Eldritch Blasts.
Okay. All right, so do some Eldritch Blasts in its direction. Your Eldritch energy soars towards this thing. Its armor class is 14. How are you going to go against that?
Ooh, not overly well. So that'll be, the first one will be bang on, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one will be a 9. So no.
Okay, so a part of your Eldritch energy smacks into the huge crest of the Ankeg and makes it kind of jolt, and you have that effect of kind of pushing it. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, so
bit of that going on.
All right, so it's blown back from its proximity to the wagon. It's so big, it's not really that far away, but it's moved away from its hungry, tasty-smelling food, and it's certainly going to return its attention towards you, unless I guess Mascara manages to do something even more attention-grabbing. Mascara, what are you going to do?
Mascara is conscious of the fact that there seems to be friendly-ish creatures around, and is casting like Ray of Frost kind of at this thing, but at the ground of it, like where it meets the ground, kind of to be like, oi, get back. Get back.
Right. Okay.
Get away. Yeah.
All right. Trying to push it off.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, you give me a roll for that. Jackwick, do you have a damage total from your Eldritch Blast?
Oh, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
1 second. So it'll be.
I just threw my dice on the ground, and it's too far away to see what the roll was. So that is a 17 on that one.
Awesome. What you meant to do in that situation, Julz, is just shout "critical hit." That's the appropriate thing to do.
I'm going to leave it because I'm quite curious later as to what it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, your 17 is going to hit, so your Ray of Frost is going to do some trouble. Sorry, Thom, Jackwick.
8 damage. 8 damage.
Okay, awesome. So Eldritch Blast kind of sears off its crest, and then frost just erupts around the broken soil that has emerged through. What's the effect of your Ray of Frost?
Some cold, frigid, blue, white light.
Nice.
And it reduces its speed too, so it like gets slower. Yeah.
So we're blasting it and slowing it. And sorry, I just realized because I've hexed it, it takes an extra d6 damage, so it's taken another 6 damage, so 14 in total for me.
Oh, nice.
That was me telling you slowly so that my dice had time to roll, and that's 15 damage.
15 damage from your Ray
I rolled
of
a
Frost.
7 and an 8, which is pretty good.
Okay, so the two of you have just unleashed a huge amount of damage against this great big bug, and it kind of shakes its head, kind of looks longingly towards the pile of fungal stuff, and then just jets out this gob of acidic spit that comes flying right at you, Jackwick. I need Jackwick to make a saving throw, please. A DC 13 dexterity saving throw to avoid the hunk of acid.
I got a 21, so Jackwick just almost like bullfighter-esque, just kind of steps almost between the spray.
Cool. You still take a bit of incidental droplets. You're going to lose 5 hit points from little bits of acid kind of pockmarking your clothing and just disrupting your perfection a little bit. But it's a pretty effective move, as this creature, having uttered its big spit and being thrown back, and there's cold and it's hurt, it makes a final hiss and then retreats beneath the earth, and you can feel the earth moving as it's trying to burrow away from you. There's a great big hole in the earth that it has disappeared into. What do you do? Let it go, or something more troublesome than that?
Follow it down the hole.
Yep.
I guess Jackwick just looks at the fungus. He goes, "Friend of yours, is he?"
Bug, says the big mushroom. Bug, go. Zumpus, Craddock.
Oh, all right. Does he belong to one of the Craddocks? It's whatever.
The mushroom, kind of its little beady eyes go big, and it looks around, and agitators say, no. Bug, Craddock. Zumpus, Craddock. And kind of talks to you, Craddock, and then turns to Matilda, Mascara. Craddock. Bug.
I'm going to really upset you now. Jackwick's going to go, actually, I've got an idea. And in the mind of the mushroom person, Jackwick goes, all right, now, you're going to understand me, and I can understand you. So, hello.
Oh, hello. This is unusual. I am speaking mushroom to you.
And he leans over to Mascara and goes, I'm talking in what appears to be a mushroom's brain. If my nose starts bleeding, please shake me. And then he says, in the brain, I guess again, that there beastie, that didn't belong to anyone, did it?
No. Bug come and eat everything. Make hard for Craddox. Craddox very sad. They come and kill many of us. They are so sad. You help. You good Craddox. Good Craddox to help drive away bugs.
Some might say we are the best Craddox, and that we are. Yeah. So anyway, would you like us that there trailer of stuff there, the old, that's off there to the Craddox, is it? That's off there to, that's off to us, is it?
That's for you. That is good for Craddox. What do Craddox want? Yes.
We will take it. Now, do you have a mushroom horse or mule or hounds to drag it?
No, Craddox come down with four-legged creature to pull it up the path.
And Jackwick looks over it, walks over to the trailer and kind of just like tries. Is it very heavy?
Well, it would be feasible for the two of you working together to haul it up the trail. It would be unwieldy, but it doesn't require a cart horse or anything. It's not that big.
Have you been having this whole conversation in the creature's head, by the way?
Yeah. It's been kind of just...
So Mascara's just standing there watching you just like think, and then you've just walked over to the wagon. I'm like, what?
I think what you're also seeing is it's like those kind of weird things like where someone's pretending to be on the phone. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like you can see Jackwick kind of replying, like his face automatically kind of does the things that a face does in a conversation, but you can't see into the words. It's just, it's quite weird.
Mascara tries to like mage hand in front of your face, but she forgets that her mage hand is actually invisible, and she's like, oh, God damn it, that doesn't work.
Mascara, you noticed that a whole bunch of little mushrooms have appeared out of the surroundings and are kind of gathering around you, looking up at you with kind of happy little mushroom eyes.
Yeah, and I pick them up with my mage hand and kind of like carry them around like gently, like
they wave their weird little mushroom hands. They're very excited by this.
Yeah. and while I'm doing all of this, I'm like, what? Are you gonna fill me in?
Tick is, oh, sorry. My understanding is that this here, I think we were on the right track there, and that this here trailer is going up belongs to us, the Craddox. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If we go, say no more. But we are the Craddox, and that there trailer is ours, and we would normally have like a horse or something to take that up there, but we don't. So.
Well, I mean, we have come from the wrong direction. We've probably Craddox that have been traveling, right? Like not Craddox of the house.
Maybe. I think we both had a similar idea in that we should hide in. What do you think? Hide in the.
Yes, absolutely. But our family's four-legged creatures tend to be quite good at smell. If you mentioned that a four-legged creature was coming down to haul the trailer, let's pretend you passed that information on.
Right. That's a very good point there. And there's nothing to say that their horses wouldn't have nearly as good a smell if they brought horses. So.
Well, yes. So I'm thinking that we go ahead of the trailer to let them know that it's ready to be picked up. These fine mushroom people have done a great job, and we should go ahead.
We should go. I completely agree. We should go ahead and let them know All right. Now, how much of that did you catch there? And he talks to the brain into the brain of the fungus.
The fungus brain is probably singing some weird little fungus song to itself. They're not the most sophisticated of creatures.
Oh, great.
Yes,
well, now I'm going to
yes.
have that stuck in my head.
And I'm a fun guy, I'm a fun guy. Everybody says I'm the funnest guy.
Oh, no. If there's one thing I cannot handle, it's earworms. Both literal and metaphorical.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, the little mushroom people are they're utterly credulous and will accept anything that you say and anything that you propose to do. They are going to take it completely. They're just going to accept it without question. So you've got this big wagon. You seem disinclined to mess with it, given the
Disinclined to acquiesce with your request. Yeah. I'm just thinking to myself that I can't even message you in any kind of way because I'm not that kind of a person.
Jackwick sees Mascara kind of like trying to come up with the words. He goes, "Penny for your thoughts," but it's in her head.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, it just seems to me that if." In her head, all of this is happening. If the critics are coming down, they're going to know we're not critics, right? And this could lead to quite a bit of a problem. But if the critics are coming down, what's to say they don't leave the gate open because they know they're coming back? Or we could kind of maybe watch them come and sort of do a loop around. Or we could go investigate that hole that's not a hole that seems to be maybe another way in. Either or.
All right. That seems like.
Well,
I have an idea, and I think it might be a combination. But what if we let them come down here, bring the horses, and then when they come back, we take the wagon, but now it's got horses. And by take the wagon, I mean kill everyone or not kill necessarily, but disable. Otherwise,
right. Just away from these lovely mushroom people that think that we're their savior.
That's right. I wouldn't want to disabuse them of any particular nice feelings they have for us, but not that I want to encourage certain types of behavior, but you've surely robbed a wagon or two in your day.
I mean, it's not polite to bring it up, Jackwick, but I mean, yes.
I'm not. Well, no, I'm not really one to judge. Well, sort of, but I feel like
let's just say I've knocked over a few in my time.
If we're bringing them back the wagon, like if we're not stealing the wagon, then technically we're not pulling off an heist. We're just replacing the workers. That works for me.
I mean, sure.
I'm not sure. I'm kidding. I'm not going to be staying up late for this. Worried about whether I did the right thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not likely to be either. Okay. Yeah, no, I see where you're going with this. This makes sense to me. So I think we head up there, off the path a bit, watch them come, wait for them to, yeah.
All right. Well, and then he turns to the other mushroom and goes, all right, well, we're going to go, and his hands are kind of moving as well, so Mascara now he's realized that Mascara can't tell if he's talking in the mushroom's head, so he's like, we're going to go that way, and just let them know that the wagon is ready. Now, if they come, now this is the important thing. We're not supposed to have seen an ankeg or whatever that was. So I would be I would find it very nice of you to not let them know that we were here. Just, they'll know. Just give them the wagon, off they go. You know how they are.
The mushroom starts kind of bouncing in place. Surprise party! Like surprise party.
Like a surprise party. Yeah, we all have a good surprise party, especially when you start getting in there and blasting things, but then, turns out you're friends.
Fungi surprise party, fungi surprise party.
You just keep singing that, and I think that'll work.
Cool. All right. It looks to me like the trap is set. Can I get from the two of you, please? We'll do it as a group check, a investigation check. I think we've counted as intelligence to see how effective your whole ambush setup is going to be.
Well, I've got an 18. Sorry.
And I got a 21.
All right. So pretty good is the sound I'm going to get. So we're going to cut from there to later on where one of the Craddock brothers has he's been leading this old kind of clapped out horse down the trail from the house. He's down amongst the mushroom people, kicks a few mushrooms away, hitches up the horse to the wagon. The big mushroom is kind of talking to him, Craddock, 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 and he's like, get away, ugh, go away. Doesn't want to have a bar of any of it. Hitches up the horse, comes back. He's kind of he's got a big pipe that he's smoking. He's just looking at the ground and yammering away to himself. He's in a very bad mood. He's wearing kind of a long brown coat. He's got great big kind of impressive expensive boots. And yeah, he's just thoroughly distracted with whatever is concerning him, and so distracted, in fact, that he's going to walk right into your trap. So what's the first thing that he notices that his day is about to get a little bit more complicated?
He feels a pierce of his brain that things could potentially be quite funny, like stopping him from moving potentially funny. So yeah, he would need to do a wisdom saving throw. Oh,
he actually makes quite a good saving throw.
Damn it.
Yeah, he rolls very well indeed, and he snaps up, feeling this tickle in his head, and looks over his shoulder and says, Vincent, is that you? And he's looking back and forth.
In Mascara's head, you hear, shit, that didn't work. So if Jackwick is listening to Mascara to hear...
I imagine they were chatting back and forth.
Yeah.
Singing the song, and Matilda's getting it stuck in her head, and they're kind of probably talking a bit more about birds falling upwards or something like that.
Yeah.
So the Jackwick says, no, you're absolutely right. And then he steps forward. He jumps out of the. I imagine they were hiding in one of his minor illusions, bush, and he goes, hello, sir, we're here to take your wagon. And then he'll cast Phantasmal Force, which will, basically make the person... Oh, no, sorry, he'll cast Hypnotic Pattern on the man. And so he needs to make a wisdom saving throw as well.
Another wisdom saving throw. This time he rolls very poorly. I don't need to get the exact numbers from you in either of these cases because the dice rolls have been pretty clear. So he's going to fail. And what's that going to mean? What does he do?
Well, he's now stuck for at least a minute. He's incapacitated and has a speed of 0. He's charmed.
All right.
He likes the pretty lights, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, not pretty. Like lights out of space. Like it's kind of all twisty and weird, and it's like, you know, the every now and then it looks like one of those kind of fountains where it's like pouring upwards and then going back down in a waterfall, like those kinds of things. A lot of Mobius strips. Just weird things, the optical illusions. And so he can hold that for a minute. So I think Jackwick will then go like, right, so now, did we bring rope?
Oh, I'm sure you've supplied some rope. You've had a good few hours to prepare for this ambush. I think it's the first hours of the first moments of dawn he set out from the castle. So you've had a bit of time to get all ready. You've found some rope.
I think Jackwick has rope as a belt anyway. So
nice.
So as you've been casting the spell, Mascara's been creeping up behind with like, you know, the rope, and then when sees like the dude just look upwards at the pretty things, or the disturbing things in this case, just sort of wraps it around his like mid with his arms, you know, sort of tying his arms at his waist, and just sort of like wraps it and ties, and it's like, are we good? Can we go?
And then Jackwick, yep, I think we're good. And then he will just kind of release the concentration, and and then go, well, sir, I hope you enjoyed whatever that was, indescribable thing, but we will be here to take your wagon. Don't call for help, please. Oh, what's your name?
Me? Who are you? What is intruders in the land?
No,
Intruders.
apparently we're critics.
Yep, we're critics. Those, people told us.
Yeah, those lovely mushroom people.
He takes a good look at you and says, Hardly. You are some of the lesser people. Ha! We don't want your kind anywhere near here. You should be gone if you know what's good for you. Release me now or I won't be responsible for what happens.
Well, I mean, you will be ultimately responsible because it will be your actions that, cause whatever to happen, right? I mean, right, Jack? I think I'm right in saying this, that he will be responsible.
Absolutely. If it's what you're doing, then that's your responsibility. It's not our responsibility for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's hardly our fault.
And also, what a terrible idea it would be for us to,
Let
release
you.
you. Yeah, what a terrible idea. You're lucky we don't kill you. I would be fine with it, to be honest, now.
I mean, to be honest, if I knew how to call one of those big old bugs and she taps her foot on the ground a little bit just to see if, anything happens.
Jack, we start shuddering the ground with thaumaturgy.
Okay, I would like, please, intimidation rolls from the two of you. We'll do it again there's two effects going in parallel here, and you're both quite good at leveraging your...
And I like that our intimidation is somewhat educational and calm.
Yeah.
We're just sort of bantering between us. We seem kind of nuts.
We're just shaking things around. Sometimes this will attract worms.
I actually got an 18 on my intimidation.
All right.
I got a 21.
Okay.
Oh.
Remember, Jackwick's intimidation is off the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, I've only got a +2, but I rolled good.
For what is a hobbit? Yeah.
My name's Stanley Craddock, and you better not harm me. Better not let any harm come to me. He looks frightened now. Look, just do what you're doing. Take the wagon. I don't mind. Just leave me be. And you,
all right.
If you know what's good for you, you'll just get right out of here. You'll leave right now before any of the brothers find out what you've done.
And Jackwick, kind of. Just for a second, his eyes darken just slightly, and he just walks over to the wagon and takes just a handful of the fluffy stuff and just stuffs it down Stanley's shirt, and then just stares him in the eyes for a second, and his eyes kind of flicker again, and he goes, and you can just feel it rumble again. He goes, "All right, well, we'll be off then. See you later, Stanley." And then,
where would you like to leave Stanley behind? At the moment, he's just kind of standing in the path.
Yeah, that seems silly, doesn't it?
And you've had plenty of time. You've scoped out a good place to stash him. So where would that place
I was
be?
going to say, we were probably hiding off to the side of the path when we were casting this anyway. And minor illusion, but probably actually a little wigwammy hut kind of situation anyway. What are they called when when the soldiers put the the lean-to, but bivouac, nice. That kind of thing. So we could kind of sort of stash him in there.
We stash him in the latrine we dug.
Yeah, literally.
Leave no trace, take nothing but memories, leave nothing but footprints, and a corpse.
All right.
Well, this one's still alive, Jackwick.
All right, if you say so.
So the two of you follow the trail up to the great house. You have this wagon. The horse is just kind of trundling along in front of you, quite heedless of the fact that the humans around have changed from the one that let it out of the place. And it leads you up to the great building, and you can see as you approach that there is there's not a wall that runs around the outside of the whole thing like a castle wall, but there are sections where there's an external wall and kind of inner courtyards, as well as whole big chunks of the structure that just have doors, great steps leading up to doors that give out into the open road and open wilderness. And as you get closer, just the scope of the place it almost overwhelms you. It's so big, it's huge. It rambles across the top of this whole hillside, and there are layers and additional wings and weird turrets and strange towers and separate buildings that have been kind of encompassed in the encroaching size of the main manor. It's like a country house that's just gone out of control and started growing in all directions. And as you approach, you can see that there are signs of a few servants moving in windows, opening curtains here and there, and the horse leads you towards a side gate, which is evidently the one that it came out from, and it's just trudging with the wagon towards the side gate where there is a gateway hanging open. So you can continue along with the wagon or do something else. How are you going to approach?
Yeah, I don't even think I'm really changing how the horse is walking. I'm just, horse knows where it's going. So
Yes.
I just turn around to Jackwick and I go, sometimes this is what I imagine the inside of your mind is like. Somewhere between that and a giant black hole.
Yeah, no, if you painted this with black, that'd be pretty good there. As long as none of the doors are connected up, nope, that's pretty good approximation. Love what they've done the place. Now, I don't know if we chat about this, but and then then he turns into a smaller version of Stanley Craddock, casting disguise self on himself, and then he goes,
No.
"Now I can't do this to you, so unless you can, I might recommend you up in the back there, and then we, see where this goes."
Yeah, good idea. I mean, I'm pretty good at hiding, to be honest. Wherever it turns up, we can always kill whoever we find.
Very good point.
And then sneak out of this wagon and find the person we're supposed to find that we don't really know much about.
In retrospect, could have asked for a map of the house too.
Yeah, but can't have everything.
Well,
yeah. So, I'm going to go under this, and Mascara's already burrowing under all this soft light. It's really good. And I see why the beds are so expensive. This is beautiful under here.
In the meantime, this seat is terrible. I don't know who carved this, but there's all sorts of splinters in my buttocks.
You're also incredibly not attractive looking right now. So just, don't worry about it.
I'm not sure if that's a change, to be honest.
All right, let's have a deception roll, please, from you, Tom, for Jackwick, and a stealth roll from you, Julz, for Mascara as you enter Craddock House.
I got a 15.
22.
Nice. Wow. So these dice rolls are just coming through for you. You
I'm
enter
rolling
the gate.
my Christmas dice, and they're doing really well.
That must
I
be-
did roll
that
an
must be
8.
it.
But again, Jackwick's deception and persuasion and intimidation he's a chatty boy.
So there are a few servants who look up as you come in and kind of tug forelock and say, "Master," and you just enter this great courtyard, and you can see the there's a stables with a whole bunch of horses hanging out inside it, and there is a doorway off to the side that leads into the main house, and you're kind of in the outer section. You have easy access to the heart of the house. Things are looking pretty good in general, pretty good. And as you are just organizing yourself, Jackwick, and feeling pretty confident about things, suddenly that door that you were looking at there is a swirl of activity as Henry, the master of the hounds that you saw before, comes stomping out, and he has another brother at his side, and he's saying, "Vincent, I tell you, there's trouble afoot somewhere around here. This whole bleeding teddy bear came tumbling down on me. That camel, I reckon that we go and burn that camel out and send him on his way." And Vincent said, No. I don't think there's any call for that. Let's go see what Stanley has to say. He might have seen something. Stanley, we need a meeting of the brothers, and it's all important. All in the name of our demon master. And they look at you. And then Henry says, "Yeah, that's right, in the name of our demon master." What are you going to say, Jackwick?
Meeting time.
And Stanley goes, "What? Pick up!"
They look at you again, say, Demon Master Stanley? Or have you forgotten how to praise his name? And as they close in on you, their suspicions aroused. I think we're going to leave it for another time. So that's our game. Thank you very much, Thom Adams.
Thank you.
And thank you, Julz Burgisser.
Aloha nui.
And that's going to wrap us up. We will have more really soon in another week for episode 7.
Looking forward to it. See y'all.
Bye.
Diceratops presents a podcast, D&D live on stage, interviews, news, other games, and romantic advice from Randy Dwarf. Get it all at diceratops.nz.